In this video, we turn the cute and cuddly
and the slimy and horrifying
into epic dragons.
This video is sponsored by Blackmagic Design.
So we're going to be turning animals into dragons, but we don't know what animals they are. Would you do the honors?
Oh no, I got a leech.
Yes! I got a koala!
Oh,
that's perfect!
that's way better than a leech.
And this is one of those challenges I really enjoy because it starts off a little weird or silly and then you justify it in your head as you draw it and all of a sudden you have like lore and a story and it makes sense and you're like, yeah, this could work. So this is a mystical koala dragon in a world where there's a particular kind of leaf that has magical properties that's used in healing potions.
Right, okay.
Because it has like pain-killing qualities, it sort of, you know, also dulls your senses a bit. Basically, it's also like a drug. And this dragon, this koala dragon, is a drug addict. Like real koalas, he hoards all these leaves and eats them all day and gets high.
So instead of like a mountain of gold,
he hoards
exactly.
These leaves. Now, he is a herbivore. Like, he doesn't eat people. He's really protective of his stash. So because it's sought after, people go to the forest to get the leaves to gather it for healing potions.
Yeah.
And they just have to be really careful because if the koala dragon notices that he's being stolen from,
you don't want to piss him off.
No.
No.
The typical dragon to me is like the Dungeons and Dragons red dragon. That is what I think of as a default.
It's your stereotypical, like,
but he has to be able to dwell in trees. I'll say the trees are large.
Okay.
These particular trees.
They're like avatar trees.
Yeah. I'd say he's like a bear size. Owlbear-esque.
Yeah.
And in line with that, because koalas are pretty chunky little fellas, I leaned into the chunkiness of the build. And then there's just areas that need extension. So the koalas have little tails. I just sort of gave it a bit more. So I guess it's for balancing in the trees or grabbing some leaves or whatever. Dragon's got to have wings. So I gave him wings, but I'm thinking he doesn't fly. It's just like mini parachute-y so that when he spots it, it's like...
He's a glider.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So it goes down to him and pounces. But it's not about... He doesn't go up with him, he climbs. But he aims with his wings to get you.
And he drops on people.
And he's the size of a bear, so one might basically call him a drop bear dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Perfect.
I love my design so much, I'd love to see it in a movie, or at least a really well done YouTube video, which would be possible if someone put their mind to it and used Blackmagic Design's products, which takes you through from the beginning to the very end of video production.
Like all of the products we use in the studio.
Blackmagic Design's company philosophy is really simple. It's to help creativity blossom, and they have done that here for our studio. And in fact, not only do we use their cameras and their software to edit in DaVinci Resolve, we just got the new cloud store so we can edit everything on one really beefy media server and remotely from anywhere. Our whole studio runs on Blackmagic Design literally at every stage of the process.
If you're looking for camera equipment, check out their Pocket Cinema 6K camera. It is an extremely high-end digital film camera that produces precise, rich, organic colors.
Or the 4K cameras, which are more affordable and also use micro four thirds lenses, so it's really great for budget and startup production.
But more than anything, you should check out DaVinci Resolve, which is the editing software that we use every day at the studio.
It's actually insane that it's completely free. They really want creativity to blossom, so they've made the best editing software on the planet. Guaranteed, like I promise you that, and it's free. Go check it out, download it, get editing.
I actually just downloaded DaVinci Resolve at home
I've
started like editing mode.
Hell yeah! Well, and that's the cool thing about it is like you don't have to be an editor. You can just start editing if you want, if it's something you want to learn. But take it from someone who has been editing in lots of different programs over many years. The moment I switched to Resolve, I've never looked back. So if you are an editor and you've thought about it, do it.
Go check out the link in the description to see all of the Blackmagic products, and thank you Blackmagic for sponsoring this video. Speaking of Blackmagic, I don't know. At first I was like, there's really not a lot that you can do with a leech. It's got no limbs. It's just kind of like a slug that has a mouth. And then I started thinking about the dragons in Lord of the Rings that the Nazgul ride.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got these like really long necks and they're quite like slimy and they're black. Instead of giving my dragon a face, I've just decided to go with the...
just a tube with wings.
It's just a tube with wings.
It's so good.
It's literally just a worm.
I feel like I'd be more scared of that. than an actual dragon.
Oh, for sure. It's the teeth. It's all the teeth.
Yeah. A dragon looks like you could interact with it and maybe sort of beg for your life. That thing is just like, it's a feeding hole. That's it.
It's got no like brain at all. It's just like kills and eats everything that it sees. It's just after blood.
Wow, that's horrifying.
Well, I mean, tell that to whoever put leech in the bowl. Leeches swim, right? You find them in water.
Yeah.
This leech has obviously got the element of flight as well, which makes it even more scary because then, like, you know, you're not safe anywhere.
Yeah, swimming and in the air. I hate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, I hate it. Thanks. Off to a good start though. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
I feel like I'm really going to get that yuck factor when I start adding some like slimy sort of texture and colour.
Do you know what I love though? Is it's definitely a leech. You know what I mean? It's definitely a leech and it's definitely a dragon.
I did just like slap some wings on a leech. Yeah.
It works. Stuffed up and didn't screen record.
But the A10.
You saved us.
Our Lord and Saviour.
Our sponsor.
Literally.
I forgot to screen record, but the ATEM, which is made by Blackmagic, was recording.
Yep.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
Blackmagic to the rescue.
Thanks, Blackmagic.
Thank you. So jumping into colour, I felt like it would just be a little bit too boring and normal to have like gum leaves. So I figured, okay, well, there's no rules around, you know, the environment per se, so there needs to be some mystical colour. The colour I went with for my koala dragon, drop bear dragon, is, you know, more along those steel greys and stuff, but I thought the tree leaves could be a nice purple pink mix, something really magical, which of course would affect the colour properties of the potions that it turns into. Side note, just, you know, another reminder as to how much time you save just using our brushes, just slapping in the leaves and the bushes and the trees and the branches, and let's move on to painting the koala. I leaned really heavily on the fur brushes for this. I don't have a huge amount of experience painting like fully furred creatures, so it was a fun challenge, and I wanted to make sure there was like some mixes of hues so it wasn't just boring grey. So I tried to go with, again, a little bit of that purple hue in the shadows of the fur, both as a sort of reflection of the environment, but also maybe the more it eats, it sort of like soaks into it a little bit, you know? It's
kind of like if you eat too many carrots, your skin turns orange.
Is that a real thing?
It genuinely is a real thing.
That's crazy.
So if this koala eats too much purple leaves, he might turn purple.
That's it. That's the idea. Maybe that's the full form, the final form of the drop bear dragon.
Oh my God.
It's purple, and like, I guess the more high on its own supply it gets, the more ravenously aggressive it is defending it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Terrifying. He's so cool. I love how you've done like the horns in the shape of the ears rather than like giving him furry ears.
You have to sort of keep some of both.
Yeah.
And you can't have a dragon without horns. Yeah. And because I haven't got scales and I haven't really got a lot of other stuff aside from the wings, had to be the horns.
Definitely feels more dragony and not just koala with wings.
The little thing I really like that I kept about the koala is this little chin, just this little white chin popping out, because they all have this little white chin. I don't know why that tickles me so much.
Under those gigantic teeth.
Yeah. It's lychee time. I'm very excited.
Alicia.
Oh! Hey!
It's me.
That's so good.
Alicia.
This is your spirit dragon.
Oh,
my spirit animal is the koala. Yours is the leech. You did this. That was your own fault, Alicia.
I blame. Yeah. Well, we found a name for my dragon at least.
Because you like telepathically suction talent from other people. You're just like, I will take your skills.
So I figured that slapping on some wings on a leech was a little bit too boring. It kind of just looked like a worm. So I thought I'd add a few more like scales and spikes and spines, just to make it feel a little bit more dragony and not just like worm. But like other than that, I was pretty happy with how it was going. Definitely still taking inspiration from the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings and leaning into those like murky, desaturated greys to get a really like moody, dark, vampiric sort of feel, mixed with some nice bone colours for the teeth and the horns.
How do you go about creating a goopy effect?
It really comes down to the highlights, making sure that the highlights are really specular and like the smaller and brighter that the highlights are going to be. And I definitely wanted to go for that glossy, shiny.
And it's really going to stand out on a dark, creature like this.
Especially with such like a simple background, which isn't very high contrast, having that contrast is going to make it look shinier.
Give it pop.
Also adding just a few like subtle color variations, like a little bit of green and a little bit of like browns.
Yeah. Especially if it's like a black creature, shading it in just shades of darker black is boring. But I love the way that, you sort of mix in like the purples and blues and it makes it more goopy too, which is a bonus. It's awful. Well done.
Thanks. That's what I was going for.
Well, it's even more epic with epic music and an epic reveal. This was actually a really fun exercise. I would totally do this again.
There are so many more animals that I want to try that aren't a leech.
Should we read a tantalising one more each just to sort of see what could be?
What could have been?
Maybe a cheetah.
Or maybe a penguin.
Oh my god! Maybe we should ask you guys to do a cheetah dragon or a penguin dragon and share it in our Discord.
Or on our Twitter using the hashtag InsertFanArt.
Yeah, and then if we do this again, we can show what people have made.
Please.
That would be so cool.
Please. Join our Discord. It's free. It's the fantastic community of like-minded people who are really into art and love showing their fan art. So we'd really like to see it.
We're trying to do something really ambitious here on Insert Art, and that is bring a lot of artists together to make really fun content with you. And you make that possible by supporting us on Patreon.
Thank you, patrons. If you want to see more in-depth content about our processes, including tutorials, behind the scenes, masterclasses, we're actually working on a Patreon commission at the moment. It's all over on our Patreon, so definitely go check that out.
And it's the #1 impact on the channel on helping us keep going. So thank you so much for your support.
Another great impact for our channel is if you hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube.
And the final great impact you could have is make sure you refer to her as a leecher in all of your comments from now on.
Please don't do that.